If you think the refs absolutely bent the Falcons over and fucked them without even giving them a cigarette or a Gatorade, then like today's video. Welcome into Falcons Today by Chat Sports. The Falcons lose to the Bucs 21-15. In an absolute case of the NFL is rigged, Grady Jarrett was robbed. He could have had a huge sack. That would have been a game-changing sack in the final minutes of the game for 3 straight weeks, but instead, the referees call a BS roughing the passer, extending the drive for Tampa Bay, and ultimately, they could kneel out the clock and run it down. Now, would the Falcons have marched down the field with Mariota if they got the ball back after the sack? We'll never know, but they should have had the chance to. That's the key thing right here. So we're going to get into some reaction/takeaways, plus we'll look at some stats from this game in Tampa Bay, but the Falcons got hosed. There is no other way to put it. Grady Jarrett should have had a sack. Instead, he is flagged for roughing the passer. In case you missed it, it wasn't a late hit. There's very different types of roughing the passers now. This was not late. This was one of those, you cannot put your body weight on the quarterback. And when he threw Brady down, they both rolled, and Jarrett ended up rolling on top of him afterwards. And the referees are going to flag that. And the sad thing is, I think all NFL fans at this point shouldn't be surprised by that. That's just the norm. If you land on the quarterback at any point in the sack, it's going to be a flag. And it's so sad. Now, most other quarterbacks probably don't get that call. But Tom Brady's Tom Brady. And he's going to get that call 10 times out of 10. NFC South right now shaping up to still be, I would say, anyone's game, but close to it. I mean, the Bucs are 3-2. That's got them number 1. The Saints, they are 2-3. The Falcons, 2-3. Panthers are playing right now against the Niners. I think they're losing 2. They are 1-3. Moving on to reaction number 2 here. They got started too late. The Falcons' offense was nowhere to be found in the first half of this game, and it looked like things might get ugly. First half drive for Atlanta looked like punt, 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 missed field goal. That's just not going to cut it if you want to beat the Bucs and Brady on the road. But they did redeem themselves in a way. I mean, they found life. They were resurrected in the second half. Mariota started to play some better football. He started to move the ball down the field. He did some good things with his legs. Is he the long-term guy? No. And I think each week we sort of learn that. But maybe the ultimate takeaway is he's the best option right now. And the Falcons and Arthur Smith see that at practice every week. So for everyone banging the start Desmond Ridder, drum right now, all I can tell you is I'm not opposed to seeing what you have in Ridder, but if he's not playing, there's a decent chance the Falcons know if we want to win on Sunday, we got to put the best 22 starters out there, and at this point, we feel that is Mariota. All right, let's go back to that ref hit job, though. How mad are you right now? Because the Falcons were 1 touchdown away from winning 3 games in a row, right? Putting some success together. Instead, they never get a chance to let Mariota put on the cape and be the hero and drive down the field. So scale it 1 to 100 for me. While you're getting that in the comments section, I invite you all to subscribe to Falcons Today by Chat Sports. It's a growing channel we've got here, but one of the younger ones at Chat Sports. And the way it works at Chat Sports, by the way, subscribers equals studio time. And the way things operate around here, not enough subscribers, unfortunately, not enough studio space. So if you want to get more Falcons content, it's really simple. Hit that big red button and subscribe. All right, reaction number 3. The defense turned up in the second half. Like how the offense turned up, the defense started to clamp down on Leonard Fournette, who was very good against the Falcons defense today. And they started to allow their offense to come back in this game, right? If you're going to go down double digits going into the half, you need more than just great offense to come back in the game. You need the defense to make some stops. Jalen Hawkins from the secondary was making some good plays. End of the day with 11 tackles, 8 solo tackles. I think he's been one of the more, I don't want to say underappreciated, but maybe more under the radar players for this Falcons defense. Mykal Walker, he left the game with an injury. Don't have an update for you at this time, but that's going to be a big loss if he were to miss some games because he has been sort of the center of this defense at linebacker, directing traffic from the secondary down to the defensive line. So hopefully he is okay. He was important for this defense today, 11 tackles, 7 solo. The rookie Troy Anderson, we're getting more of him to see, and he's putting up more stats to watch for. 11 tackles, 1 tackle for loss. Now, I should note, when you see these stats and you go, oh, this guy had 11 tackles, 10 tackles, he had a great game. It's important to also remember, where did those tackles take place? Was it after he got beat on a crossing route across the middle? Was it after 3 guys missed a tackle and he was the last line of defense, right? Those are things to also keep in the back of your mind. We're going to get to more reactions and stats and all that good stuff in a moment, but first, our sportsbook partner, BetUS, is back for another season here, and they are rocking and rolling, giving you guys a 125% deposit bonus. So head on over to chatsports.com/betfalcons. Use promo code FALCONS125, and you'll get that 125% deposit bonus. You have to go to chatsports.com/betfalcons, and you have to use the promo code FALCONS125. Atlanta, 10.5-point dogs today. They covered. All right, reaction number 4 in this game. This offense is right now lacking a little bit of the juice and flair, okay? And what I mean by that is a bit of the spark that they had with Cordell Patterson. Unfortunately, this is the first of 4 games he will miss going on IR. No Kyle Pitts today. He missed all week with a hamstring injury. And you felt that loss. Even though Pitts isn't having the best season, and we'll go more in depth on him in a moment, you felt that you missed his spot on the field. But Mariota, 14 for 25, 1 touchdown, 61 rushing yards. He linked up with Zacchaeus for a score. But all in all, like I said earlier, I'm not trying to make this a Mariota sucks show. The offensive line is better than last year, but is it vastly improving? Not necessarily. They were just churning bodies last week against the Browns in the run game. This week, not much success on the ground. Avery Williams found the end zone, but it was not as successful as it was last week against Cleveland. And they went up against a much better defense in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this week. Drake London, a little rookie update for you. He had 4 grabs for 35 yards. Again, when you face Antoine Winfield Jr. and this Bucs secondary, they'll make life difficult for you on offense, and the Falcons just couldn't find much of a rhythm early on in this game. All right, grade the Falcons' performance for me, A through F. This is kind of a tough one to stab, right? Do you want to be a half glass full or half glass empty kind of guy? Because the half glass full is, hey, this Falcons team has been frisky, they have been tough, they have been gritty, and they are not going down without a fight throughout 5 weeks now. Like, the Falcons have never just gotten bulldozed and laid down. No, they continue to play hard and fight for 4 quarters. So for that, I'll give them a B-. That's probably the best grade you can really give a team that ultimately loses. But I think the Falcons have shown they are never going to be an easy out this season. All right, 5th and final reaction to get to here. The offense needed Kyle Pitts. Not because Pitts has put up 400 yards through 4 weeks and 4 touchdowns. But he draws a lot of attention, right? The defenses have to respect Kyle Pitts, and they have to allocate bodies and personnel to make sure he doesn't take over games. And when he does that, that opens up things for other players. Today, the rest of the offense felt what it was like to not have Kyle Pitts because all the attention now could be equally divided amongst everyone else. Kyle Pitts has yet to really get into a rhythm and look like the star he can be, but make no mistake, he is very important to what the Falcons want to do on offense. Even in weeks where they don't give many targets, he is still a fundamental piece of this offense, and without him, it can be like pulling teeth to try and pick up a rhythm and get into a flow on offense. All right, coming up next week, the Falcons are going to welcome the San Francisco 49ers. Niners right now, 17-9 over the Panthers. You're probably watching this later with the result known, so we'll see what happens, but I don't have much faith in Baker Mayfield leading a comeback. Actually, I think it's more likely Matt Rule gets fired in the parking lot tonight rather than the Panthers come make a comeback. Maybe I'm going to be wrong. We're going to find out, Nick. All right, that's going to do it for us for Chat Sports, Matthew Peterson, producer Nick Roloff putting together an excellent show for you guys. Enjoy the rest of your Sundays at Taco Mac, Willie's, wherever you're hanging out. Go Falcons, and good luck next week, guys.